in Gaza, where Prime Minister Netanyahu emerged from a 12-day period, apparently underground, but at least out of sight, and put an offer on the table that he knows Hamas cannot accept. Whenever Hamas puts something on the table that the Israelis have already agreed to, Netanyahu adds to it. Whenever Netanyahu puts something on the table, he knows Hamas won't accept it. And besides, he murdered the chief Hamas negotiator. Is it fair to conclude he is absolutely not interested in the hostages or a ceasefire?
I think we know this. The only thing that Benjamin Netanyahu is interested in is Benjamin Netanyahu. Tragically, he has sacrificed the security of Israel and the safety of the Israeli people for his own political ambition. This is a man who does not want his legacy to be political embarrassment. And right now, if he were to step aside, he would be politically embarrassed. He is the leader who built his career on the notion that he is the security man, the guy that guarantees the security of Israel. And yet it was under his watch that October 7th took place. And it's under his watch that the Israeli Defense Force has been unable to bring to closure, the military campaign against Hamas. It's gone so poorly that the Israeli military itself has acknowledged that Hamas cannot be defeated. And so, how does he get out of this? An honorable man would resign, but he can't because he's not an honorable man. And he's also a man with looming, allegations of corruption over his head that would cause him to go to trial and most likely lose as soon as he stepped down as prime minister, which means he'd spend the rest of his life in jail. This is not the outcome he wants. So what he's doing is playing a very dangerous game of escalation management. He went to the United States in July, spoke to the United States Congress, got 54 standing ovations, all the while breathing fire and brimstone about the need to go to war with Iran, the need to go to war with Hezbollah, the need to finish the job in Hamas, war. Everybody saw that. What most people didn't see was the subsequent meetings at the Pentagon and the White House where Netanyahu was told the truth, that the United States will not support any continued major Israeli offensive actions against Hezbollah or against Iran, and that we were pushing for a ceasefire. Now, what does Netanyahu do? He goes back home and he orders the assassination of a senior Hezbollah official in Beirut and the chief Hamas negotiator in Tehran. Now, normally these two actions would, result in a massive retaliation, but Netanyahu was gambling on the fact that neither Hezbollah nor Iran want or are looking for a big fight at this point in time, and that the goal and objective of everybody is, a peaceful outcome. So he gambled and he guessed right. There hasn't been a major Hezbollah retaliation, and Iran so far is likewise held in check. Why? Because they are hopeful that there will be a ceasefire, that there will be an end to this conflict, which is, after all, their strategic objective. And so now that Netanyahu has certified himself as the man who can assassinate people in Beirut and Tehran without consequence, the real leader of Israel. He's now, seeking to see how far he can push this. Eventually, I believe he's going to have to accept a ceasefire. What he's trying to do is get a ceasefire that is less damaging to him politically, so that he can offset that damage with what he's done with Hezbollah and Iran. If this sounds crazy, it's because it is. This is all about the personal political ambition of Benjamin Netanyahu.
Is he in danger of an IDF coup against him?
That would be unprecedented. I think he's already seen the IDF express its concerns over an extension of the war. I don't think it's so much an IDF coup as it would be a rebellion within the political establishment. When the IDF will tell the war cabinet and tell, the other leaders of Israel that, it can't win a war, that this would actually put Israel in grave harm, it'd be hard to see how Netanyahu could pull that off. And so, as opposed to a straight out coup where generals take over, I think the IDF would work within the political establishment to put Benjamin Netanyahu on notice that his political future would be over if he pushes this too hard.
One of the things that upset you a lot, upset